All right, yo, what's up, guys? Good morning, good morning. Let me quickly let the Discord know that I'm live. 1 second. Premium members live on YouTube now. All right. Let's see what's going on in the market today, guys. First thing I'm noticing, obviously, we're in a very strong uptrend here. We passed all-time highs yesterday. And the one thing that I would teach you guys, or I would say here, is when we are at all-time highs, all you should be focusing on primarily is just long setups. So I'm constantly looking for equal highs in the market when we are trading at all-time highs, and I just keep marking equal highs, waiting for basically equal lows or some kind of liquidity to get swept, and then looking for long setups. So immediately I see a few sets of equal highs here. These two sets of equal highs right here, I'm not as concerned about, though they are probably going to hit when the next set hits. So right here and right here are two sets of equal highs. Those are something that I'm aiming for. Maybe today, maybe not, we'll see. But these are both very obvious draws on liquidity for me, so I'm going to mark both of them. I don't know if we had any other equal highs here. No, we had this protected high now that formed from this 1 minute gap. So that's another potential target, but I don't think this is going to hit super easily. We have another set of perfect equal highs here, but they're right next to each other. I don't really care too much about them. And yeah, now we're just going to look at where we are. So for example, right now we're trading into this bullish hourly fair value gap, which is obviously a strong draw on liquidity for price. We are also at it looks like the mean threshold. No, actually we have quite a ways to go. So the 50% of this leg of price is right down here. And we have a new week opening gap. And we have that first standard deviation. So my guess is that the draw on liquidity right now is somewhere in this general area. And then from there, we'll probably get a bounce. And yeah, so we're just going to be super patient this week. We have new all-time highs. I'm not going to take anything unless it's so clean that we can't deny it. Again, one issue I see a lot of people making is they'll try and follow somebody and try and take their trades. But the difference between someone who trades and someone who entertains is that the entertainer is going to take a bunch of trades to keep you entertained and occupied, while the trader is actually going to wait for the correct setup. So people make the mistake of following entertainers instead of educators, and those are the people that end up losing because they take a bunch of trades. Yeah. So yeah, we're just going to be patient and wait for something. Right now, I mean, I do see this 1 minute fair value gap. That could be a potential setup that we could use to target the equal highs above. So the setup would look something like this. It's about a 2.3 give or take to 1 RR trade. But until that happens, obviously we're not going to be able to take anything. Yeah. So that's pretty much what I see with NQ. ES. Let's see what ES is looking like. Starting with the daily chart. Wow. I mean, just like NQ, super strong. We have a lot of imbalances here on the daily. 1 fair value gap, 2 fair value gaps, 3 fair value gaps. Any of these can be touched into before going higher. If we look at the hourly, we're in the same kind of situation. We're trading into that bullish hourly fair value gap, and hopefully this is where we end up seeing a move higher. But again, we could easily touch into this new week opening gap that formed. So if you guys are wanting this on your charts, actually, new week opening gap, new day opening gap by Kryptonite on TradingView. This marks the new week opening gap that formed on Sunday of this week. This is often times a magnet for price before going higher. But I could easily see us get some kind of an inversion to target today. Going for, again, these equal highs. We'll see what we get. There also is no red folder news today. If you guys check the Forex Factory calendar, I'll actually show you guys how to do this for those of you who don't know. But just go to forexfactory.com. I post this every single week in our community, but when there is no red folder news, for example, today, the 30th, all we have is FOMC members and yellow folder news. This is ideally not a day to be trading with cash accounts or any accounts that really matter for you. price action tends to be bad, and especially when there's FOMC members that speak, this can randomly spike and dump the markets for random reasons, and that can actually cause you to lose a lot of money. So do not trade these days with any accounts that you really care about, and if you are, you should be trading those accounts with small size. You want to wait for days with red folder news. For example, we have JOLTS and manufacturing PMI tomorrow at 10. This is a day I'm going to be trading in the Discord. And then Wednesday and Thursday, we also have ADP and NFP. And then Friday, obviously, we have 4th of July, so we're not going to be trading that. But today is the type of day where you just have to be super careful, size down. Don't go for full size moves. In my opinion, I would probably aim for like easy targets. For example, if we're looking here, let's say we get a sizable move up here and a break of structure above this high, and then we retest it, then you can try like a very quick scalp, keep your stop loss tight, and target this 1 minute imbalance. That's an example of one. Is this another set of triple equal highs? No, it's double equal highs. And actually we tapped into this 1 minute gap. I thought these were triple equal highs, but they're not. So I wouldn't even aim for that 1 minute gap today, to be honest. Just depends on what we get. No really good IFVGs here. We do have a little one here. This looks like it's generating a bunch of low resistance liquidity to eventually break, but I'm not a huge fan of this structure here for now. We'll see how it plays out. But this is an example of a trade you can try. If this closes above, you can target this internal high, leave your stop as a close back below the 1 minute fair value gap. Wow. Okay, so our Nike position, for those of you guys who added this in the 60s with me, congrats. This is probably going to keep pumping here. On the daily chart, we have officially filled this gap, so don't be surprised if we get some pullbacks, a retest of this gap. But ultimately, the draws and liquidity for me on Nike are this buy-side liquidity, this daily gap, a filling of this daily gap. We still have quite a bit of gap to fill. If you guys see from here to here is a part of the gap that still has not filled on Nike. So I want to see this area get filled. Let me change the color of this labeling. Yeah, and then this high here, I'd like to see get filled. And then this is the weekly fair value gap. That is my final target on Nike. So this is going to be should be a good trade. We'll see how this plays out. Let me see here. And then our last position that's pumping right now is actually Riot. I'm probably going to be selling some covered calls on this in a bit. We just swept all these buy-side liquidity targets here. I want to see this pump all the way through this daily fair value gap here. So I'd like to see this come at minimum to 1141 before I start considering selling covered calls. But if it does pump through this, I think we're going to go through all of this low resistance liquidity and all of this. So that's going to be exciting. Okay, NQ is coming close to inversing this 1 minute gap. Let me check the 15. So we did sweep some major sell side here. So I do like that idea. I do like the fact that we swept that. We're trading into a bullish gap. And yeah, so this is not a half bad inversion. But we'll have to see it close above. And yeah, we could probably try this with small size. Again, it's a no news day with FOMC speakers. So I would not suggest taking this with large size. Ooh. Okay, so we are about to get to close above this, probably. Again, if you're going to take this trade, I don't think this is A+ personally. It just doesn't look so clean to me. This is like a consolidation leg. Looks like we're building low resistance liquidity. If you want to take this, you can try it. Target would be this internal high, and then you could hold for higher. I'm not loving the look of this inversion, though. I will be honest. Okay, candle closes in just under... just under 30 seconds. So let's see what happens here. Okay, what's up? Good morning, brother. Okay, so again, I'm not a huge fan of this inversion. If you guys want to take it, you can. It's a no news Monday with Fed speakers. I don't think this is A plus to take. If you're going to take it, by all means. We are trading out of a bullish fair value gap on the hourly chart, and we did sweep sell side liquidity. So could it possibly work? Sure. I'm not a huge fan of it. Just the look of this is not A plus, and this the situation we're in. It's not A plus, but by all means, guys, do what you want to do. It's not even giving us a close here. It looks like it's probably going to come up and sweep the high without even giving the entry, but we'll see about that. And we also just swept this high by a tick, which I'm not a huge fan of, and rejecting. Just not A plus to me. Okay. You taking any trades this week at all? Wow, Tesla's selling off quite a bit. Office admin blocked the trading view so can't see where we are in the market. No way. Why did he block it? Did he see you were on it? No way, bro. I cannot believe that. If he blocked it because he saw you were using it while you were working, that's hilarious. Just trying in the evening when I am in the home. Yes, I want to try. Yes, I was trying in the demo. Yes. So now I'm just back testing. Wait, but Kate, did he block it in the office because he saw you were trying to trade? Or is it just something he saw in like the browsing history? Wow. Good thing you didn't get fired. Okay, so it looks like we just formed a set of equal highs here. Okay, so we just formed a set of perfect equal highs. Wow, that's crazy, Kay. Okay, so I do like that these equal highs just formed. So if we can get another liquidity sweep here, maybe a trade into that 50% level and the new week opening gap, I think this will be a really nice trade to the upside. If it ends up just pumping here, I mean, so be it. There's nothing we can do about that. But if we do get a pullback here before sweeping these and then a setup, that will be really nice. Dude, Riot just keeps on pumping nonstop. Congrats to you guys who are in this trade as well. We are going crazy on this. Again, I will alert in the community, but I think around this 1140 level, when the daily fair value gap is filled, this will be a spot to sell covered calls. Okay, I like this rejection. I hope this continues. If it does, that's going to be a really nice setup later in the day. Yeah, we can do an overview of the market, okay? So for those of you guys who are watching really quick, if these equal highs don't get swept, we'll look for a setup later. So I'm going to go over to the daily chart here. I mean, look at this, guys. We are completely blasting through all-time highs on NQ. And again, I've said this plenty of times. When we are at all-time highs, it's much better to look for long setups than it is for short. You are far more likely to win to the upside than you are to the to the downside. So I'm really hoping that this fails. But again, sorry, just to continue the overview. So we've smoked all-time highs. I will keep all-time highs on my chart. So I'm gonna label this in purple with a pretty thick line. So it is possible that we're going to come back and retest all-time highs before going higher, but normally what happens is we kind of slowly climb up and then we get some random dips later to touch into the all-time highs and then go higher. So I will label that on my chart. You guys can see it here in purple. That is going to be a draw eventually, but I don't think that's going to hit for a while. I think we're probably going to continue to see new high, like all-time highs, new high of days, London's being swept before we actually get that. Okay, I love that this is getting rejected here. And I hope it continues before going lower, before maybe touching into that 50% of the hourly leg. Again, that is from right here. You guys can see the hourly leg, 1, 2, and the 50% is right there. So that looks like a potential draw to me. And then from there, hopefully we can get new all-time highs. So we'll see about that. Okay, so lovely rejection there. Again, people that are taking this 1-minute inversion probably sweating right now because this is failing. But we'll see if it holds. Again, my objective here is to teach you guys to take the optimal setup. Again, for those of you guys who are in the chat here that are not bots, how are you doing nowadays? It's been days that I didn't talk with you. Yeah, doing great, Kay. I just had my sister's wedding, so I had lots of family here. At least I still even have some that we're housing. So it's been a lot. It's been very busy with people here. I've still been trading almost every single day, but staying off the charts a lot more. But apart from that, we've been doing really well. A lot of our swing trades have been printing, Riot, Nike, Boeing. We took a few Amazon plays in the community. I'm sure you saw those. But I've been doing really well, thankfully. It's just stressful with family here. Okay, so it looks like this is probably going to fail. And if we end up seeing new lows, I'm going to look for a setup later in the day that's going to be better than this. I really hope that they keep these equal highs. If they're able to keep these and we sweep these lows and then get another beautiful play, something like this, that will be beautiful. But if they end up sweeping it, so be it. Okay, did you take the swing trades with Amazon or Boeing or Nike or Riot? To Riot. Almost hitting 11. There's $11 a share. So we're now up $100 per 100 shares from our entry in the tens. Okay, there's the equal highs, swept by a tick. Let's see what happens here. Again, this 1 minute inversion did play out. Surprised that it did on a day like today. But sometimes it does play out, and you have to accept that. But immediate rejection after the sweep of the equal highs. We could go lower here. I'm not 100%. No 5 minute inversions. We have a big bearish 5 minute fair value gap here. So this could be the next draw on liquidity for sure. I'll keep this labeled not as equal highs, but as just as an internal high. So what I'm thinking here, potentially, because those equal highs got swept, is that we're going to come up and fill this 5 minute gap, or maybe touch into it. Then from there, we could easily reject. We'll see. But that's definitely a good draw on liquidity. No, I know I'm missing a lot, but I already made an account. Just need to put money in it maybe next month. Yeah, I mean, listen. Money, if you rush money, you're going to end up having a problem. So you guys only should be opening accounts and swing trading and day trading when you're ready. Not when you want to, but when you're actually ready to do so. If you're in a good financial position where you can afford to risk money, then yes. But until then, no. Oh, I need to get a haircut. Hair's too long. Okay, so do not be surprised if we come up and sweep this internal high now. Ba-da-da-da-doo. Doo-doo. Trying to get to you. Okay, so we're almost there at the internal high. Should sweep any second now to rebalance that 5 minute gap. And boom, there it is. Just by a ticket swept there. Oh, if I messed up with the account I was about to pass, why? Okay, what'd you do? What happened? Because of the over knowledge. Okay, so this is another 1 minute inversion here. In theory, guys, this will be used to drive us up to this internal high and this fair value gap. However, again, because of the nature of the day, I am not going to be taking this. Also, you have to be aware, even though the 1 minute inversed, we are trading into a bearish 5 minute. There's too many fair value gaps in this leg of price. I'm not loving it. I want to teach you guys the ultimate thing that I could teach here is which days to be trading and which days not to be. It is a no news Monday. It's a week where it's a holiday week. Pretty much, we have 4th of July on Friday. There are Fed speakers talking today. So you really, really, really want to be focusing on taking the setup that is so clean you can't deny it. And this is not that setup. The 1 minute looks great. Don't get me wrong. But we have a big bearish 5 minute fair value gap here that we can easily trade into and then reject from. Kay says, now I'm trying to make it simple. You should always be trying to make it simple, But unfortunately, the market, this is another thing I don't really understand. A lot of people try and make things simple. I get it. But the market is far from simple. So trying to simplify something that's not simple, it's very difficult to do. There's always going to be nuances. There's always going to be things that you have to analyze before considering whether it's going to be A plus or not. Like this. This is a 1 minute fair value gap, but is this an A plus setup to take on a day like today? No. We just exited the macro time. No news day. FOMC members speaking. This is very likely to fail and stop people out. So in theory, this is a simple trade, but it's not because there's a lot of things happening in the market today. Oh. Let me take a look at the rest of the market quick. IonQ is up 8% on the day. Wow. Trading into this bullish gap. This is a potential setup here, guys. If we can, I mean, technically this was the entry in this daily fair value gap anywhere in here. But if we can close above this internal high on the daily, I think that these two highs are going to be next on IonQ. Very high risk play, but that's definitely something you can look at. SoFi up 7%. Wow. SoFi just hit, oh no, I thought this was all-time highs. Wow. SoFi has a set of perfect, not perfect equal highs, but relative equal highs here. It's like a shelf. This could easily be a draw on liquidity for SoFi in the future. Enphase down 4%. Nike down. Boeing down. I'm going to take a look at all of these later, and I'm going to decide what I think is good and what's not. There's probably some really good setups sitting in a lot of those stocks that I'm looking at right now. Okay, so it looks like a 1 minute inversion to the downside after sweeping an internal high. This could be a short setup, but again, guys, I'm not looking for shorts. If this does end up closing below, this is definitely a setup you can try. Stop loss would be a close back above this high, and your target would be low of day pretty much, with a stop to break even at this low. But I am not going to be taking that. So this is technically the entry. Your stop loss would be a close back above this high. Your stop to break even would be at this low, and you would target low of day. Woohoo. Oh, is there any chance we can talk on the weekend? Sure, of course. Okay. Okay, so there is the entry and very close to stop to break even there. I would honestly move your stop already. The fact that we came super close to the low and then wicked is not a great sign to me. So if you're entering here, I would have your stop to break even. If you get wicked out, just let it be, guys. this is a type of market, not today, not this type of market, but this is a type of day where you want to preserve your capital and you don't want to let yourself get chopped around. Okay, so that is almost a stop to break even there. And boom, break even stop. Bro. Hold on 1 second, y'all. Do. I'm just marking some levels on some of my other charts here. But you can see that this is failing. This should probably come back and sweep this internal low and then go lower here. Bum, 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 bum. I can't get over how bullish last week was. We had such a bullish week. Sheesh. Such a bullish week. Okay, so there's that internal low. It should come down and sweep this low now. Did we create perfect equal highs here? No, we did not. So, of course, anyone who took that 1 minute inversion long that I said not to take from right here is getting destroyed. Closure above and complete collapse below the market. So, did anybody take this 1 minute inversion and get destroyed and now is upset that they weren't patient and didn't look for an 8+ setup? I'm sure there's somebody in here that's crying now. I am sure there is. Let's take a look at Tesla quick. Tesla. Cars are driving themselves, and the stock is consolidating. It's wild. This is not a good look for Tesla. I will be honest. We have this hour or this daily inversion here. Gonna label it in white. What I think is probably gonna happen here is Tesla's gonna come back and fill this volume imbalance. I will label this here so you guys can see it. Label it as a volume imbalance. Where is volume imbalance? And we'll put this, yeah, I guess it's fine. Maybe I'll make this yellow. I think we can easily trade into the 314 to 308 level on Tesla. And then hopefully we completely reverse through this BPR here and go higher. But not a great look for Tesla right now on the daily chart. But I still do think, again, the higher time frame trumps everything. What I think is happening here is we're creating a monthly order block, and then we're going to use it to go higher. That's going to target the first high being 370, 304. And then I think we're going to go higher from here. If we can close above this monthly fair value gap, I think it's game over, and Tesla's going to pump all the way to all-time highs and beyond. But we need to see that monthly close. We might have a few months where we chop around in this fair value gap and then we close above it. So keep your monthly chart on Tesla on watch and wait for a closure above this monthly fair value gap. That will be really exciting to see. Okay, yeah, so... Whoa, why is the quality on my... Yo, guys, is my TradingView lagging? Anyone who's watching, is my TradingView lagging? Okay, continuous rejections from bearish fair value gaps to go lower. But nothing that's really clean here in my view. Let me look at the 5-minute quick. Yeah, I would not be trading this, guys. I'm telling you right now. Wait for cleaner price action. This is not it. Okay, so continuous rejection from this 1-minute fair value gap. We're almost towards 11 o'clock where I would probably not even trade at all. But, yeah, we'll see what happens here. If you want to try this 1-minute inversion, you can. Again, not A+, but you can try this to sweep this internal high. Okay, so it looks like we're closing above this 1 minute inversion. We did sweep some sell side here, but not loving this, guys. Technically, this should go up to this high, or at least this internal high, but I would not bank on it. Okay, there's that internal high. Could we sweep this? Absolutely. That was a trade right there, but again, not an A+ trade. You see how I don't execute on the screen even if it looks decent because of the day? If it's not A+, I don't take it. Baby, come back. Ooh. Also, we did almost create perfect equal highs there, but we didn't quite. Again, nothing A+ here, guys. Okay, I want to take a look at Amazon real quick. That is one that we have been paying attention to for a while and one that we sold puts on. Amazon down 0.7%. So we have finally traded into this weekly fair value gap on Amazon. Again, when we were here, I told you guys I was adding shares and selling puts on these two down close candles. And that my target was going to be this 219.97 level. I still think Amazon has potential to go higher here, but I would probably close a position out when we hit this 227 level. That is the top of that weekly fair value gap. So if you want to sell puts on Amazon here, again, if you sell puts, you have to be prepared to buy 100 shares of Amazon in these price levels. But if you do, you're going to be able to target this buy side liquidity at 227.50. It's also the top of a daily of a weekly fair value gap. So I will label this in green so that we see it. But this is a draw for me, 227.23. It might hit after hours. It might hit with their earnings. We'll see. Earnings are on July 31st. So we got some time, but that's definitely a draw on liquidity for me. Ooh, do, 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 do. Oh my god. Wow, such boring price action, guys. So we're testing that the bearish fair value gap that turned into a woman at bullish inversion. But no trade here. If you guys want, you can try and target midnight opening price for some kind of a trade up. But again, you need to see something A+, and there's nothing. Baby, come back. Ooh. Whoops, sorry guys. This is a website blocker. Okay, so we're still trading out of this bearish 5-minute fair value gap and rejecting. So this tells me we're probably going to come back and sweep low of day. Probably. Again, not guaranteed, but probably. Excuse me. Wow. But really what I would focus on early in this week is this new week opening gap. I would like to see the market come down and test it and then use that maybe as support to go higher. Oh my god. Who here has taken a trade? Anybody on stream right now that has taken a trade today? I'd be so curious to see what you took and why. Because today is not that day. You're not that guy, pal. Not today. The only thing you should be doing today is selling puts on really good companies like maybe Disney, maybe Amazon. Disney is not, I wouldn't say it's the best company, but structurally, we're probably going to hit this high here on the monthly chart at 126.48. So this is definitely something I think is going to hit here. From here, it's not a huge return. It's only a 2.5% move, give or take. But I think this is going to go up here. And then if we were able to close above this on the monthly chart, then we could see some things above us hit on Disney. For example, we have this fair value gap on Disney that is unbalanced. I'll actually label this in white. But this is a potential draw on Disney, 160s. So from here, we're looking at a 30% return to these highs. Again, this is higher risk now. We're consolidating in this whole leg of price. So you don't really want to see, you don't really want to be entering this on a breakout. But if we do end up filling this gap, for example, this is a massive BPR. So I think this could easily be used as support to go higher. But I do think that this high at 126 will hit. Everyone who's been short Disney has their stop loss above this high, and this high. And so far we've swept this one and this one. And I think what's next is that one. So if you want to trade on Disney, I would not be surprised if in the next few weeks, if not days, we go up to 126, which again is only a 2.5, give or take, even less return on Disney. But yeah, this is not something you should be trading. I told you guys before this whole leg of price, this is probably going to consolidate and manipulate, and it is. So I don't know what else to tell you guys. So nobody on stream here. No one has taken a trade yet, right? You're all disciplined traders that haven't clicked a button, to my understanding. Okay, let's take a look at some premiums on Riot. So if I was to sell some covered calls on Riot today, again, we are in Riot. For those of you guys who didn't know, this is a high-risk play, but it's something that we took. I entered this in the low 10s and high 9s. So we're up. I think my cost basis is... Oh, shoot. Sorry, I accidentally hit my... the space bar. I think my cost basis is like 996. So we're up 11% on this. I think this is going up to 1141, which will give us a 15% return. Once we hit this 1141 level, I will sell some covered calls on my Riot position. Right now, if you sell the 1140 covered calls just under a month out, you can get about $72 per contract. That's pretty good. Greg, in shorts on NQ. Greg, my friend. You guys know the number one rule that I talk about at all-time highs. Who knows the number one rule? When the market is at all-time highs. The number one rule at all-time highs is that you should only be looking for longs, not for shorts. Another set of perfect equal highs forming here, it looks like. Oh, actually, yeah. There is another set of perfect equal highs here. If we do end up going lower here and sweeping low of day before hitting this, then there'll be a nice setup later today, most likely. But you got to be super careful. Guys, also make sure you like the stream if you're in here. There's 10 people watching this on different platforms. We've got 1 like on YouTube. Come on, y'all. That's pathetic. Oh, never mind. We got 3 likes now. Baby, come back. Ooh. You could do it all for free. I was strong. Nice, Greg. Did you take this 1 minute inversion here? Not a half bad play. I will admit it's not terrible if you took this 1 minute inversion. But there wasn't a major liquidity sweep, so it wasn't A+. But if we can end up sweeping low of day, maybe trading into this new week opening gap today, I think there'll be a nice play to target these equal highs later. But is this what you took, Greg? This 1 minute short? What did you take? Or even this 1 minute short? This was a better 1 minute short, by the way. We did have two fair value gaps in the leg, but we closed below it right there. So that was the target. I said your stop to break even should be that low. Your final TP should be here, and you should probably take some profits somewhere in this leg of price. There's another 1 minute inversion to the downside here. No way I would take this. Not with equal highs above. Well, we're at all-time highs. Do I think this will probably work? Maybe. And if it does, then we'll look for a setup later. But until then, there's no reason to, right? Woo. I took it after the liquidity sweep. Okay. That was definitely the better short of the day, for sure. Baby, come back. You could do it all for free. Bruh. So if you can notice, this 1 minute short is obviously about to fail. If this 1 minute closes above, this is going to be chop city. Could we sweep these equal highs? Sure. If you guys want to take a 1-for-1 trade here, targeting the equal highs, your stop loss needs to be at least a 1-for-1. So we're talking about right there. This could easily work. It could easily fail, but not something you want to be trading. This is not A plus price action. You're going to get destroyed if you take these types of setups day in and day out. The goal is to, after 100 trades, are you going to be profitable? If you take this setup with 100 trades, you're going to get destroyed. Does anybody feel FOMO right now? Seeing these green candles and wanting to tag these equal highs? I guarantee you someone feels extreme FOMO with this, and they're trying to long this right now. Could it work? Absolutely. But is this an A+ setup? Absolutely not. I think the best thing you can do right now is recognize that sense of the feeling of FOMO you have right now that you want to make money just clicking a button to target these highs, when in reality, you should be being patient and waiting for an A plus setup. Nothing in here is A plus. This is all consolidation after a a distribution leg. And more so than not, because it's out of a macro time, there's no news, FOMC speakers, there's no reason to be taking this. This could easily just have a random dump down, stop everybody out, stop out this low, and then go higher later on. Baby, come back. You could do it all for free. Boo doo doo doo. Uh-oh, so now everyone who FOMO clicked up here is now sweating and they're praying they're not going to get stopped out. How's Bitcoin doing today? Riot is pumping. Bitcoin is down 1.2%. So again, what am I looking for on Riot? Just if you guys just sit down and learn these models, you're going to be so much more profitable. You have to think, why is the market pushing up here? It's very likely to fill this daily fair value gap. And the high of the daily fair value gap is $11.41. You can see the gap. Big down close candle. You take the wick of the third candle, the wick of the first candle, draw a box out in time. This is an imbalance in the market. So we're very likely to draw up into this. If we can close above it, we're very likely to then go up and sweep all the internal highs above. So I'm in this from much lower, but I still think this is going to push through all of this eventually. But I'm going to be protecting my position when imbalances get filled. So for example, when this daily gap gets filled, this is when I will be selling covered calls on Riot to ensure that I protect myself from potential downside before a move higher. But you can see as well, we have a daily imbalance here. There's a gap. We call this a volume imbalance between this wick and this candle's high and this wick. This is an imbalance. I don't know if we have any more imbalances on the daily. Not really that I see until up here. Everything else is just low resistance liquidity. Eventually, this is going to pump through all of this. And people are going to get FOMO and try and long up here, and then it's going to fill this gap and probably get rejected. So you shouldn't be buying stocks when you see breakouts. You should be buying them before the breakouts in these areas and be selling into strength. Hope that makes sense. Okay, so a failed 1 minute. Not a failed 1 minute. There was no inversion here, so there was no setup to go long here. But you can see now it's getting destroyed. Again, if we can sweep this low today and then we get a very bullish 1 minute inversion, that is something we can try. But until then, I'm not touching anything. Type 1 if you're not a bot, and that makes sense. Why this is nothing in here is A+. Good. Greg gets it. And whoever else is in here. There's 10 people watching this on different platforms, and there's only one person that understands. But props to you, Greg. At least you get it, brother. If you take this long right now and this hits, this is not a trade you should be proud of. And again, there's so many reasons for it. FOMC speakers, no news Monday, bank holiday week, no setup, consolidation after a distribution leg. There's like so many reasons. So I don't think you'll ever reach a level, exactly, Atish. It's a chop market, and the reason being is for everything I just told you guys. But you'll know you've reached another... There's like levels of enlightenment to trading, okay? You'll know when you reach another level of enlightenment, another level of consciousness with your trading, if you get upset or you are not proud of yourself when you take a stupid trade and it ends up working. If I took this trade right now and it ended up hitting these equal highs, I would not be happy with a trade because I know there's no setup whatsoever. This is complete gambling. This isn't... Sure, these could hit. Great. We're in a macro time, but there's no setup. We're in a consolidation leg. You need to be patient. If, let's say something else happens here. Let's say we do end up sweeping all this LRLR. We dump through this, sweep this low. Maybe we even get a trade into this new week opening gap, and then we get a setup to target this. I would be very proud of this setup. This is going to be the IFEG right here. And you see how I've been in the market so long that I know what the setup, the A+ setup will look like. This should be an A+ setup if we get it. We're going to break through all this low resistance liquidity to the downside, sweep low of day, stop everyone out who's trying to target these equal highs, and then we get an IFEG after trading into a PD array, like a new week opening gap. Also, if you look at the hourly chart, this also matches up perfectly with the 50% of this leg on the hourly. We'll be filling an hourly fair value gap to the downside, trading into a bullish PD array, sweeping liquidity, trading below the 50%, right? You always want to be longing in discount, not in premium. This is not an A+ long here. We're in premium of this leg of price. You want to be longing in discount below 50%. So if this setup, I know this probably got messed up. Oh no, it actually stayed. If this happens, that is A+ to me, because we're getting a long in discount. Technically, the long will form above discount, but we already traded into discount, so it becomes much more likely that it will work to the upside. Also, if we get a setup down here below the new week opening gap, that'll be even better, because you can move your stop to break even once we hit premium of the range. So like, let's say, let me delete all this. Hold on one second. So let's say we get this. We trade below the LRLR, sweep low of day, go like this, whatever, consolidate, get a dump here, and then a setup like that. That'll be even better because we're longing in discount. Your stop to break even would be here where 50% is. Let's say you long here or something. I don't know how the setup's going to form. But you long here, stop to break even at equal highs, or at premium, and then you can just hold it all the way up to the equal highs. That would be really nice too. So I've been in the market long enough where I know what I want to see. Even though I don't know exactly how it's going to play out, I know what I want to see. Yeah, and if we look at the daily chart, I mean, look how bullish this is, guys. You do not want to be looking for shorts, but you want to be waiting for the market to trade lower and then looking for longs. So also I'm going to obviously label the high, the all-time high, which is a daily high now. That's going to be another draw on liquidity for later on. But you can see that we're slowly forming equal highs here, here. There's two sets of equal highs here, I believe. Yeah, two sets. Well, this one is not as important, but these ones right here are more important to me. So in fact, I'll just delete those. But we have a set of equal highs that formed here, a set of equal highs that formed here. If we can drop below all of this, get a manipulation, and then a trade up, that'll be much better, in my opinion. Okay, I'll be right back, guys. One of my computers is about to die. I just gotta get the charger. All right, I thought the charger was in another room, but it was in my room. Ugh. Okay, so I would love to see a random red candle here. What would it represent? It would represent low resistance liquidity, run lower. I'd like to see it trade into here and then get along. But yeah, Atish is right. We're probably accumulating on the daily before going higher. Guys, also, if you're in the stream, there's over 10 people watching this on different platforms. Make sure you go on YouTube and like the stream. It really helps the algorithms out. And I really hope that you guys are learning what discipline looks like. If you watch me on the screen, you will very rarely see me take an execution, especially on a day like this. It needs to be so clean. Trading is 99% waiting. I only trade NQ, Atish. Only trade NQ. Don't be surprised if we get a big red candle here to sweep all these lows. What do you trade, Atish? Do you trade both? Oh my goodness. The reason I don't trade ES is because if you look at the way the candlesticks print, it's very, very algorithmic. Like, first of all, there's less volume on ES. Second of all, I don't know how to explain it, but like if you look at this price action, this is robotic. This shows me there's very low volume on ES compared to NQ. You can see how the candles are printing. It looks like a computer. Versus NQ, if you look at it, there's a lot more volume. You see how the candlesticks are cleaner? Look at ES. See how these look robotic. It looks like a computer is printing these. Look at NQ. Much cleaner. I don't know how else to explain it to you guys, but this is all like very, very, very computerized. I don't like it at all. Such cleaner runs, and it is very slow compared to NQ as well, most of the time. But you can see the consolidation. Again, there is zero setup. If you take this long right now, you see this green candle and you take this long and it ends up hitting these equal highs, this is not a trade you should be proud of. This is gambling. I promise you right now, if you take this 100 times, you're going to end up losing. If it works today, awesome. Most of the time, you're going to get chopped around and destroyed. You need to be aware of how the markets book, and you have to take the A plus setup over time. That will be what makes you profitable, not having FOMO and thinking, oh, let me click the button here and see what happens. If you're a see what happens type of person and you just click praying that something's gonna work, you're gonna eat your words eventually. And then that loss that you are gonna take is gonna be big and you're gonna be sad about it. So again, if this hits, I mean, is this something to be proud of? Again, absolutely not. We just hit this internal high and we're immediately rejecting. If this ends up failing here, you're going to be sad that you just randomly click buttons here. And guys, make sure you like the stream. Come on, y'all. There's 3 likes in here and there's 12 people watching across different platforms. If you're learning how to be disciplined, if you're learning something, then like the stream. All right, 5 likes. Let's go. Better. Okay, so these are probably going to hit now, but again, silly trading. This is not something you should be taking. I really hope these don't hit so that we can teach you guys a lesson here of why you should not be executing in this type of price action. This is called chop. You should not be a part of this. Wow, I went to the beach yesterday and there's still sand in my eyes. What I will say is this. Tomorrow, we have red folder news. Powell is speaking at 9:30, but we have really good news at 7 o'clock. This is a day I'm going to be trading in the Discord. So if you guys are part of the community, you'll see me live trade tomorrow. But that is the day I want to trade, not on the No News Monday, where we are likely to chop and create liquidity and stop people out. Has ES not taken all-time highs? What do you mean? Guys, ES took all-time highs a long time ago. Do you guys see that? These are the all-time highs on ES. So that is incorrect, Atish, but I think you mean high of day, but all-time highs have already been swept. I think you mean like the new all-time high. I'd be interested only if we see 5-minute gets inverse and closed above. Is it be adjusted? I never use the be adjusted, guys, by the way. I always use it. I don't adjust for contracts, ever. But some people do. But yeah, if it's be adjusted, then you are correct. But personally, I leave this off. Ba-da-da-da-do-do-do. I was strong, but I just can't live without you. Alright, so this is probably creating a 1-minute order block here to sweep. You guys can do whatever you want, by the way. If you want to leave if you want to adjust for the contract changes, you can. I personally leave it. I let it be. But it's totally up to you guys what you do. Mana. Okay, there's the equal highs. So there is your final. I mean, I wouldn't say your final, but this is like if you were trying to scalp, that would be your target. Again, I would never take this type of trading. Never trade this type of price action. Would never take a trade here. There is no setup here. Zero. But to answer your question, Atish, on ES, I do like this on ES. I do like this on ES. So if we are able to trade above this 5-minute inversion and we close above it, let me label this as an IFEG in purple. If we are able to close above this inversion gap, then yes, I think this is a pretty good setup. Your stop loss would be a 5-minute close back below. And then you could target London. You could target, I mean, if you want to use the be adjusted and go to the daily and look for it, I would honestly target this high first and then this high. So you would keep your contracts, you would keep your take profits at those levels. So again, it's very tough to say for sure that this 5-minute inversion would be the setup that sweeps these two all-time highs, but you would have to move your stop to break even. Most likely, I would leave it at this high or this high. So London highs or this high, and then you just hold the runners. And you would need to do this on a cash account because what's likely to happen if this closes above is that this move will only happen the next day. Sometimes you'll get very strong price action that moves a lot of points. But from here, we're talking, oh, it's only 22 points on ES. And 30, almost 40 points. But just realistically, with how ES moves and how slow it is, you would need to take this on a cash account because you would likely have to close the position out at the end of the day on a prop firm. Okay, so big rejection here. Sweep of liquidity to the downside now. Yeah. That was my idea. TP1 to be London high and move to break even. Yeah. I think that's not bad at all, Atish. Not bad at all. But I would probably take it on a cash account so that you can hold it. Baby, come back. Ooh. And also, one thing I will note, guys, now that the equal highs have been swept, I am less likely to take a long in the afternoon session today. I think what's going to be best is to wait for tomorrow. Again, if you guys want to trade live with me in my community, there is a free 3-day trial going on. But tomorrow, because we have red folder news and we have, I think it's 2 sets. It's manufacturing PMI and JOLTS job openings. At 10 o'clock, we are going to be looking for a setup, very likely a long setup. And if these equal highs have not been swept yet by tomorrow morning, this will be the target for me. So we'll see how price action plays out in the afternoon session. Realistically, I'm probably going to take a setup tomorrow morning, right after 10 o'clock. So that'll be in the community tomorrow. The best days of the week, I trade in the community, and then the rest of the days, I'll trade on YouTube. But the objective, guys, is for you guys to trade the optimal setup on the optimal day, and today is not that day. But immediate rejection after those equal highs got swept. I would love to see all this low resistance liquidity get run today, trade into discount, trade into the new week opening gap, and get a long setup tomorrow morning. That would be optimal. Oh, shoot. Sorry, guys. Shu, hello. It's my first time watching your live. Welcome, Shu. Are you new to trading, Shu, or how long have you been trading? Do you trade NQ, ES, futures, stocks? What do you do? By the way, guys, I'd love to see this low get swept today. We could easily just consolidate here. There's a 1 minute fair value gap here that we could trade back into. This is just not optimal PA. Not optimal at all. But if we can sweep this and then get a setup down here in discount, that would be where I'd be paying attention to longs. But another rule, again, I say this time and time again, you should only be looking for longs when we're at all-time highs. Started learning about trading in January, but I don't think I've improved much. So one thing I would suggest you, if you go to my YouTube, go to my playlists and look for the ICT mentorship. I think it's 4 lessons right now. But I basically go over my exact model and what I trade. So basically what I'm looking for is a liquidity sweep. So you're looking for major lows or major highs. And then you're looking for an inversion fair value gap. If you know what ICT is, that's the type of trading that I do. But I look for one specific model, which is liquidity sweep plus inversion fair value gap. I went almost 3 years, 2.5 years without being profitable. I've been trading back and forth for about 6 years, but only the last 3 have I been profitable. And it took me a lot of trial and error, a lot of different testing, a lot of different models. And I have found personally that the liquidity plus IFEG model in a macro time is the best setup possible. So if you go to my YouTube and check out that playlist, it covers ICT concepts, but I try and remove all the fluff. So the 4 episodes just cover the things that I think are best to know. And yeah, I've watched a lot of ICT videos, like probably 3 days worth, meaning like 36 hours plus of different models he trades, and the one that I learned the best and understood the best is liquidity plus inversion gaps. Atish, no, I do not trade any other session. Sometimes I'll trade London session. So for example, I was in Thailand for like 3 months, like traveling throughout Asia. I went to Singapore, Thailand, and I was not trading the New York session. I occasionally did, like I would live stream at night, but I would take a lot of trades in the London session. But it really doesn't matter what session you trade. I just find that New York is the most accurate. You can still be profitable trading Asia. You can still be profitable trading London. I just find that the most volume typically happens in the New York session. Greg says, well, my shorts played out, about to hit my target. Yeah, I'm glad that they, I mean, I'm sad that you got stopped out, but I'm glad that it's working out. I just personally do not take short setups when we are at all-time highs. Yeah, I think I know some ICT. There are different types of liquidity, right? How do I know which ones to keep more in mind? Or do I only consider them when they're near current price action? Oh, let's go, Shu. Yeah, I loved it. It was beautiful. I was there from July, August, September, end of July to middle of October. I was there. And Singapore as well. Where from Thailand are you, Shu? But to answer your question, Shu, you really just need to continue to trade. Like, I will say that the most important liquidity is the high time frames. So, For example, the hourly chart, you can see obvious liquidity. So this low right here is a very major level of liquidity on the hourly chart. I do not think we'll end up going here before hitting all-time highs. I think we're going to trade into close to discount of this range and then use that to go higher. But this, for example, is a very strong level of liquidity. But yes, there are different types of liquidity. There are PD arrays. There are like wicks, standard deviation liquidity. There's so many different things you can look at. But I just look at major wicks on the high time frame and use those. So, for example, right now we're trading into a bullish hourly fair value gap. But I would prefer to see us trade into discount of the range, which you can see here from low to high. If you draw the Fibonacci out here using the Fibonacci tool, this is an area where the market should deliver price action higher. We have a new week opening gap here, which is another form of liquidity. Wow, you're from Chiang Mai. I never got to go to Chiang Mai. That was the one place I didn't go. Well, not one place, but I started in Bangkok, then I went to Phuket, then I went to Koh Samui, then I went to Pattaya, which I did not like Pattaya. And then I went to Singapore. Yeah. Even at all-time highs, you expect a pullback to go higher. Yeah, I mean, the market oftentimes will pull back and then will generate liquidity and then we'll go higher later. But like right now, the market is very likely to trade up into this 1 minute imbalance. But we'll see what happens. But yeah, I do like to see pullbacks to then go higher later. Baby, come back. Ooh. Boo doo 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 doo. Shu, next time I go to Thailand, where do you suggest I go? Like I said, I've been to Phuket, Koh Samui, Pattaya, Bangkok. Where else did I go? I think that was it. What other islands do you think are really nice that I should go to? Or places? I'll definitely go to Chiang Mai. That's definitely a place for me. I was strong, but I just can't live without you. By the way, Shu, your English is great. Come visit next time, but I'd say the main city, probably the best for traveling. Also, about trading, I think I'm really bad with timing. Like, for example, I could have a bias. Bias will come with experience, but you need to look for high time frame PD arrays, like on the daily chart, the weekly chart, the 4-hour chart, the hourly chart. But just know when we're at all-time highs like now, it's much more likely we're going to go higher than we are to go lower. Yes, we can get pullbacks first, but you should always be looking for long setups. Again, today, guys, I'm not trading with an account that I care about because of the fact that we are at, it's an FOMC speaker day with no red folder news. So we're much more likely to chop, get stopped out of trades. It's not a plus price action today. That's why I went shortest opportunity and took it. I had a tight stop, 1 TP and out. For sure. If you guys see an opportunity, if you have a model that you know works more than like 60% of the time, then by all means. But basically, like for example today, I mean you could try and scalp up to PD arrays like this 1 minute fair value gap, but I don't think it's a plus price action personally. And I just can't live without you. Baby, come back. Ooh. Yeah, all-time high means the highest price the market's been at. So, for example, I don't use the contract adjusted thing that some people use, but um, you can see the all-time highs. The previous ones were here in purple, and we are above it. So we're now at all-time highs pretty much. So when we're at all-time highs, yo, Big Long, what's up? Long time no see, sir. You guys can call me OF, OPH, or OF, whatever you want. OPH, actually. Don't call me OF. This is in OnlyFans. Do 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 do. But I think this is very likely to spike up into this 1 minute PD array now, so we'll see what happens. Again, there's a 1 minute fair value gap here that's an imbalance, so the market's likely to drive up into it. Oh, we got an Israeli in here. What's up? Who is that? Do I know you? Sorry guys, I can't read Hebrew. I'm terrible. Okay, so we're about to hit that 1 minute gap. And there it is. So this is what I'm talking about with experience. You just have to know what imbalances there are in the market. We swept liquidity to the downside. And now I said there's an untapped 1 minute gap here. You can rewind the tape if you want to see. But this is where price was likely to trade into. Now, if we inverse this, meaning we close above it, we're very likely to go up to this high, and then this high. But again, a no news Monday with FOMC speakers is not a good day to trade. It's a friend of Michael. Oh, you're Michael's friend? Wait, what does it say? Hold on, let me try and read it. Ariel? Ariel? Is this Ariel? No, he's still here. Today's his last day. I had to drive him to the airport like 4 times. Like, we went to the airport yesterday, no, 2 days ago. Then on the Friday before that. And then I think on I don't know, so many times. But he officially has a flight back on the 1st. So today's the 30th for us. But you know, Michael, he has a strong personality. Like he wants to get things done, so he keeps going back, and he ended up fighting for a flight. But Daniel called and got him the flight. Okay, so there was that balance of the 1 minute PD array. We're rejecting from this 1 minute fair value gap. If we close above it, that's the only time that I would look for a long. But again, we're outside of a macro time. FOMC speakers today. There's no news. There's no reason to be taking a trade with live money. What the heck? Okay, Shu, can I ask if it matters what kind of sweep it is? Do you take a clean sweep or like a little bit of a consolidation? It really depends, Shu. The longer you trade for, the more experience you have, the more you know when price action is going to be good or bad. For example, this is an hourly liquidity sweep that we just got. Okay, we're trading into a bullish hourly fair value gap, and we had a liquidity sweep on I think it was a 15 minute. So there's a low here that we swept on this candle. I was not expecting this to deliver higher, even though it was a clean sweep at the time, like right here. Let me go back. If I replay the market to right here, this price action looked pretty decent, but just this structure I know is not great, and the fact that we are not in discount, again, discount of the range is right here. So low to high, discount is here. This told me that this liquidity sweep probably wasn't going to be clean, and because of the fact that we are that we're trading on a no news Monday with FOMC speakers, told me it was likely to be bad too. So that's why I didn't like it. But I did say that we were likely, after sweeping this low, to trade back up into this 1 minute PD array. But again, there's no trade here. This is nothing I would not execute on this. El Jefe, do you think we will go to the 1 hour IFEG first at 769 before going up based on price action? If then, let's go to the hourly and see what you're talking about. Well, the hour IFEG first at 769. Well, we already traded into this hourly fair value gap. You can see it right here. I think we will probably trade to discount before going higher. If it does. If we get into discount and we trade into this new week opening gap, if you guys want the new week opening gap indicator on your charts, type this in on TradingView. New week opening gap / new day opening gap by Kryptonite. That is an amazing indicator. If we're able to trade down into this area of price, that also correlates with this one standard deviation of the Asia range, then I think we'll get a nice long setup. But I think it's going to happen tomorrow, realistically. It could happen today, sure. But if we get a setup down here, so let's say, and again, for those of you guys who want to trade with me live, the best days in the market, the red folder news days, I trade in the community. But I think what's probably going to happen here is we're going to get a consolidation, then maybe a manipulation tomorrow at 7. So at 7 my time, 10 a.m. news for Eastern time. And then we'll get some kind of a trade up to target these equal highs. If we can get this setup and an IFEG here, that will be the trade I'm looking for. So I'm going to be patient, wait for the market to trade into discount, wait for that one standard deviation tap or the new week opening gap or both. That will be more ideal if we tap into the one standard deviation. That also correlates to a liquidity sweep right here, meaning this low will get swept. And then if we get that, that will be something I'll look to target these equal highs up here. So if we get like a long setup from here, the RR is going to be way better. We're going to be most likely in a macro time when this happens. We'll be in discount. This is the setup that I would look for. So we'll see if we get that tomorrow. But I think the main goal I'm trying to teach here is know when to trade, which days are good to trade, which are not. And today is not a good day to trade, in my opinion. So if you guys want to try this, you can. Again, this is not the IFEG that I would take personally. But in theory, we have swept liquidity, so it's better to take this IFEG than anything else I've seen today. All of this is consolidation and chop. But I personally am not going to be taking it. Also, guys, if you're in here, wow, there's 20 people watching this across all different platforms, and there's only 7 likes. Come on, y'all. Okay, so no close above. You guys see how the body of the candle never closed above? This is not an entry. The only way you can take this is if the candle's body closes above the fair value gap. Then your target would be this internal high, and this internal high. TP1, TP2, TP3. Oh, Shiloh phone. I remember you. Wow, you speak Hebrew too? Oh, my Hebrew is so bad, guys. Ma hata miata Israel Israeli ata Israeli. Yes, half. My mom is from South Africa. My dad is from Israel. I didn't know you were Israeli, Shiloh. Shiloh phone. Shachachti. Okay, so there's a closure above on the 1 minute. This, in theory, should be used to drive us higher. But I'm not taking this. It's outside of a macro time. We are not in discount of the range yet, so this is not a plus to me. Where in Israel are you from, Chilo? Haifa, nice, nice. Bro, the stuff that's going on is crazy. I was like in shock when I saw. I actually have a good friend in Haifa, by the way. His name is, well, I'm not going to say his name on the stream. Actually, I guess it doesn't matter. His name is Eden Ninari. If you know someone named Eden Ninari, let me know. Okay, so we inverse this. We're trading into a bullish one. In theory, this should be used to drive higher, but again, we are outside of a macro time. It is not a good day to trade. Everything here is low probability. No Eden. Yeah, it's a small world in Israel. I doubted you'd know him, but you never know. That's why I figured I'd tell you. Woo. Okay, guys, I'm going to stay on until the 11:50 macro. I'll call out price. I'll tell you where I think it's going to go. But as I've said plenty of times, today's not the day to trade. Tomorrow is probably going to have an A+ setup around 10 o'clock when the red folder news comes out. That's when I'll be trading. And if you guys want to join, there is a link, free 3-day trial for the community. You get access to my long-term plays, my option selling, swing trades, day trading. We just called out Riot, so we're up massively on this one. Nike, we bought in the low 60s before the huge pump. So if we go to Nike stock, we were buying this all in this leg of price. And for those of you guys who don't believe, if there's something you don't believe, let me know, and I'll show you guys exactly where I called it in the community. But we also bought Amazon before the weekly fair value gap trade. So I was telling everybody that I wanted this weekly fair value gap to get tapped when we formed this order block on the weekly. So in this leg of price, I was buying and selling puts. So we collected some premium on this. All of that was called. But anyways. So far we're bouncing out of this bullish one. This should be used to drive us up to this internal high and this internal high. From there, who knows where the market's going to go, but this realistically should hit, but again, because of the nature of today, I am not taking trades on this day. It's not a good day to take trades. Man. Has anyone else taken any trades today? I know, who was it? Was it Greg? Or was it M? Yeah, Greg took a short. Yeah, I haven't taken anything today. Zero. Nada. Sheila is long after this 1 minute inversion. If this high gets hit right here, this little wick, so right here, personally, because of today, I would move my stop to break even. So, where is it? Stop to break even here. Your entry was actually here. This is such a bad trade, guys. Terrible trade. I'm just telling you right now. Because if this dies, you're going to get stopped out and it's going to feel like shit. But in theory, this is your entry. And when this high gets hit, you'd move your stop to break even. And then you're probably going to get stopped out. But you can partial here if you want, meaning you can take some profits if you want. But this move is so small. So not my cup of tea. Definitely not. Heading out, take care. That high is my TP. Yeah, also what can happen is they'll bring it really close to the wick, like the mean threshold of the wick, and reject it. Just not good price action. Greg, peace out, brother. Good to see you. And yeah, I'm going to stay on again until 11:50. So once 11:50 hits, I'll call it a day. And I will see you guys in the live stream tomorrow in the community. That's where I think the A+ setup will occur. But we'll be patient and wait for that. I'm praying for this, Shiloh, for you. Hopefully it hits. I don't like when this happens. We inverse a 1 minute gap and we come really close to the high and then we reject. What normally happens here is we come down and fill this gap. We could even trade down into this gap, but again, I have no idea what's going to happen here. But in theory, if you are in this trade, your stop loss needs to be a 1 minute close back below this inversion gap. So if the candle comes down and closes below this, you should be out of the trade for a loss. He's out already. Bro, you guys need to learn this model yourself and become comfortable with it. This is not a good trade. I'm telling you right now. And again, it's really because of the nature of the day and because we're not trading in discount. If this setup happens here, it'll be way better. So if you're still in this, guys, your stop to break even is here. Or partial, whatever you want. But okay, there's the high. And again, this is the next draw on liquidity. So in theory, the market should go here and then up here. But I am not in this trade. Definitely your stop should be at break even here. So if you entered on this candle, your stop loss should be at break even. And you should just hold up to this high right here. So the target is right here. You should partial here because we just hit this internal high. Formed equal highs here, by the way. So that's another good sign. And yeah, now you just wait. So you really don't want to see the market trade back below this green candle. You'd want to see it consolidate here and then go back up to these equal highs. If this fails, what will probably happen is we'll go all the way back down to this low, and then we'll probably trade down for the PM session and then get a long setup later. But again, we'll see. But this is a good sign for people who are long. You want to see equal highs form when you're long because oftentimes the market, it's like a magnet for price. Perfect equal highs. If you look at the H here, it represents the high of the candle. You can see this high is at 22,845 and this high is at 22,845. So what will likely happen is we'll drive up to here and then go higher. All right, almost there. Let's see if this hits. And there it is. Equal high is beautiful. And then I would hold your runner all the way up to that equal high. Or all the way up to this buy side liquidity, sorry. There's not really any imbalances here. So the market, in theory, we should just keep going up here. There should not be any stalling. Okay, let me take a look at Riot real quick. It's pumping nicely. Okay, so Riot is fulfilling the prophecy. Again, daily fair value gap. This is where Riot should go, $11.41. Once it's here, I might sell some position, but most likely I'm going to just sell covered calls against my shares. So those of you guys who are looking for a high risk play with a high degree of certainty, this daily gap should fill. But again, I wouldn't be longing here. I would rather have longed here where I longed with the community. So, okay, so I don't like that wick, but regardless, I still think this should drive up to the buy side liquidity here. Just need to see a closure above this wick. Baby, come back. Is anybody still in this long with your stop at break even here? Again, that was the entry because we inversed the 1 minute candle. Stop to break even at that high. Targeting this. So, again, if this candle comes down to this green candle, you will be stopped for break even. You should not be entering this here. Don't chase this. It's dumb. But again, this is the entry. I am not in this personally. Again, I've told you guys already. I'm not taking trades today. This is not an A+ day to trade. And I just can't live without you. Baby, come back. Ooh. Wow. Okay, so we're 3 minutes from the macro time. So we really want to hit this at or before the macro time. What is the macro time? For those of you who are wondering, it's basically just the hourly candle closure. So you can see the hourly candle here. This is, you can see the hourly candle closes in less than 3 minutes, or more than 3 minutes, sorry, 13 minutes. But the start of the macro time is in 3 minutes. But it basically represents how the hourly candle forms and closes. And that's why people call it a macro time, but it's typically where price delivers to where it needs to go. So if I were you guys, because of the nature of today, I would take some profits right here, because what we could easily do is reject before the buy side and come down, but up to you. This is where I would take some profits. And do not be surprised if this comes and stops you out for break even on the rest. Baby, come back. All right. Okay, guys, take some profits there. Take some profits right before the high. All right, there it is. Okay, so final TP is hit. For what happens here, who knows, guys. We do have a bearish 5-minute gap here and another bearish 5-minute gap here. I will never take a trade here until this 5-minute closes above. But that's gonna be it. That's gonna be it for me today. I'll see you guys tomorrow in the Discord, and if I see anything A+ again today, I will call it. Appreciate you guys watching, and I will catch you guys in the community. And have a good one. Peace out.